All right, hey there, everybody. Happy Monday night. We are live on KENS 5 right now. It's the first week of fall. Fall officially began yesterday on Sunday, and temperatures were not reflecting what fall should look like. We hit 96 yesterday. We hit 94 today. It was very warm, very humid. As a matter of fact, we're in a heat wave right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to break down anytime soon. We do have some relief on the way. It's not going to be a huge relief, but temperatures a little bit more comfortable in the mornings and a few days of rain chances, which we'll talk all about. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Join the conversation. We're talking all things weather for the next 10 to 20 minutes here on KENS 5. Again, today's high at 94. Right now we're at 88. Feels like 89. Winds are light from the east, around 3 to 5 miles an hour. Skies are mostly clear. We saw a few showers in the hill country today between Kerrville, Kendall County, towards Gillespie County. 88 in San Antonio, 81 at Boerne. 81 at Bandera, 91 at Pleasanton. Again, the hill country was a little cooler, so the temperatures, there is a spread between here, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, and our southern counties, like Atascosa County at 91, Pleasanton at 91, 91 at Floresville, and 80 at Hallettsville. So the rain was few and far between, and if any rain formed today, it was very light and mostly north of Bexar County. Very widely scattered sprinkles, pretty much at best, I think. I mean, there were a few light showers across Blanco County towards Kerr County around the 2 and 3 o'clock hour, but it just wasn't a lot. It wasn't measurable rain. Anywhere towards Gonzales and Cuero, we saw a couple of downpours as well. This is all false returns on the radar. Most of the heavier downpours were between here and Houston today, south of Columbus and south of I-10. Tonight's forecast, if you have any plans to go out later tonight, I know it's 8 o'clock, it's Monday, but if you have any plans this evening, quiet conditions, middle 80s through 10 and 11, and then we slip into the 70s by tomorrow morning, and that's pretty much it. I think we bottom out around 76 to 77 for early Tuesday morning. Very humid, more of the same, unfortunately, and tomorrow's forecast, 94 to 95. Now, the change arrives tomorrow, small change. Better change arrives Thursday, which, again, we'll talk about in a second. Tomorrow sunrise, 7:24. Tomorrow sunset, 7:27. Days are gradually getting shorter. Through the fall, this happens, and then November, the first Sunday of November, is when daylight saving time ends and we go into standard time. That's when we feel a lot shorter, right? I mean, that's when sunset's around 5:45 in November and December and January. Now, meantime, tomorrow's forecast at lower to middle 90s. Watch what happens tomorrow evening. There will be a round of rain that moves through from the north. I think most of San Antonio just gets clipped by it. There will be a couple of downpours between, let's say, 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. But most of the storms probably towards LaGrange, Gonzales, and Columbus. And watch what happens Wednesday morning. It's quiet, it's clear, with a northerly wind in place, but that northerly flow will help produce, with daytime heat, a couple of hit or miss, isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms. Is it going to be a lot? No, but it is a change, and we welcome change. So here's a look at Wednesday at 2 o'clock. A couple of downpours between Boerne, the city, Hondo, and towards Pearsall. And there may be a couple of storms to our south, Pleasanton, down I-37 and I-35. So something to keep an eye on. The rain chance tomorrow is mainly at night, and Wednesday it's during the day for a couple of isolated cells, storms and showers. David, the 2 moons are coming. Okay, can you elaborate, David? Eugene, I can't wait for grilled cheese and soup weather. Yeah, it's probably not until November and December. This time of year it still stays hot. It's not until like mid to late October we get a stronger front moving in. Hopefully that happens a little sooner, but we'll cross our fingers for that to happen. All right, still Hennick from Cotulla. Can't wait for the first major cold front. Yeah, I know. Again, that's usually between like October. If you remember last year, Halloween was chilly. Halloween and the day before, we had highs like in the 50s and 40s. It was chilly last year for Halloween. Hopefully that's the case this upcoming year, but of course we'll see what plays out in the forecast in the coming days. Speaking of storms, we have one in the Caribbean Sea. This is south of Cuba, east of the Yucatan. This is not named yet. The Hurricane Center has dubbed this area of low pressure potential tropical cyclone 9. It's a long name. It's just, again, a potential cyclone. Now, the models are saying this is going to be a hurricane, and I think it will be. Probably by as early as Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, it should be a hurricane, maybe a Cat 1 or Cat 2 by that time frame. But this is going to bring rain to Mexico and Cuba for the next 24 hours. Right now, winds are around 35 miles an hour. Here is the official forecast from the Hurricane Center. So you can see by Wednesday, it's just to the east of Cancun. It's between here, between Mexico and Cuba. And then as it emerges into the Gulf, from the Caribbean to the Gulf, it's extremely warm in the Gulf of Mexico. And that's going to help fuel intensification. I think by Wednesday afternoon, somewhere near Cat 1 to Cat 2, and then sometime between Wednesday night and Thursday, that's when it amplifies into a Category 3. That's a major hurricane. Now, landfall will be sometime around Thursday evening, probably by 5 or 6 o'clock. So if you are heading down I-10 anywhere towards Louisiana or Mississippi, it should be okay. We'll see rough surf, increased wave heights from Corpus Christi to Louisiana, but the main threat for rain, storm surge, flooding will be from the Florida Peninsula all the way up to the Carolinas. And remember, on the eastern side of a storm or a hurricane, that's where you get all the heavy rain. It's swinging onshore winds, onshore water from the Gulf, and on top of that, the rotation of the storm brings in heavy rain. And with a Category 3, that's winds of over 115 miles per hour. So this is going to be a major Category 3, making landfall as Hurricane Helene later this week, sometime Thursday evening, 4, 5, 6 p.m., maybe a little earlier, a little later. But this will bring heavy rain to the Sunshine State, the Carolinas, the East Coast, as it continues to march farther north. Our 14-day forecast will be pretty hot and on the drier side of this storm. David, Earth will get a second moon for about 2 months. Yeah. I think this upcoming moon in October will be the 4th supermoon of the year. Double check me on that, but it's going to be the largest supermoon of the year. I know that. We talked to an astronomer earlier, I think, in August and September, and they talked about October's full moon will be the brightest and biggest out of all year. And we've had several. We had one this month and then one in August. But I think the one in October, from what we understand, will be the brightest one as well. Oh, and then you mentioned the second moon, David. Yeah, I know you're talking about the asteroid that came in, and that's considered a second moon for 2 months of the year when a small asteroid begins to orbit our planet. Asteroid was discovered in August and is set to become a mini moon revolving around Earth in a horseshoe shape from September 29th to November. Yeah, really cool. We'll be doing a story on this, David. You don't really get that very often. I mean, usually we just talk about full moons and super moons. We don't ever talk about a second moon. So it's really cool to see. Okay, guys, this is the forecast. This is going to be hot. First week of fall, and it will not feel like fall at all. 94 tomorrow, 93 Wednesday, and 90 on Thursday. Now, there will be a front, a very weak one, moving in on Thursday morning. It'll get a little breezy at times. North winds moving around 10 to 20 miles an hour, with occasional gusts near 25, but I don't think it's going to be that windy. But the front on Thursday morning will bring temperatures in the mornings for Thursday, early Friday, early Saturday into the 60s, and the humidity will go down pretty bad. So drier air, lower humidity, temperatures in the 60s. Enjoy early Thursday, early Friday, and early Saturday because the mornings will feel nice. Now in the afternoons, different story, 93 Friday, 93 Saturday, and more of the same through the next 7. Now, some of the models are depicting another change arrives sometime around the 1st and 2nd of October. And it's been pretty consistent on this change. Not going to be a strong front, but it is indicating, models are indicating a front to move through on Wednesday morning, sometime between then and Tuesday night. Next week, the 1st and 2nd of October. And that'll reinforce the drier air, the lower humidity, and highs a little closer to average, near 88 to 89. So yes, it's not cold, but it is getting a little cooler. And that's usually how it happens, right? We gradually move down the thermometer through October and November. But remember, historically, it can stay hot in September and in October. It's not consistently nice and comfortable until November and December. So hopefully we get a strong cold front in the next few weeks. But right now, in the next 2, we are not expecting anything strong. Just a couple of different boundaries moving through, dropping the humidity and providing a chance for rain, specifically Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. All right, that's the forecast, guys. We'll leave it on here a little longer. Lower to middle 90s for the next 7 days, 90s for the first week of fall. Second front moves through the 2nd of October, and that'll reinforce again drier air, lower humidity. Shane, I'm trying not to, man. I'm trying not to. We want a front, and we're getting a couple, but these just are not strong enough, right? These are not dropping things into the 70s or the 60s. These are just dropping things by a few degrees and just knocking the humidity out. So we want better fronts, but we're not getting them anytime soon. Hopefully in the middle of October and towards Halloween, but for the next at least 10 days, upper 80s, lower 90s, with the best relief we can look for is just lower humidity, and primarily in the mornings you'll feel that. All right, that is a 14-day forecast. Guys, we'll be on again in about a couple hours on KENS 5 News at 10. Tune in for another look at the forecast, more on local news, sports, everything you need to know around San Antonio. But again, tomorrow, 94, 93 Wednesday. Best chance for rain in the next few days. Tuesday night, mainly after sunset, and then Wednesday afternoon between lunchtime and 6 p.m. There will be a couple of hit or miss showers around, hit or miss storms. It's not going to be everywhere. That's why we're forecasting like 20 to 30% on the rain coverage. Otherwise, if you don't see rain, you're seeing sunshine, clouds, and highs in the 90s for the next 7 to 10 days in San Antonio. Have a great Monday night, guys. Have a great week. Hopefully those mornings, early Thursday, early Friday, and early Saturday will feel a lot better, maybe more fall-like, with middle 60s waiting for us pre-dawn Friday morning. Have a great week, guys, and be safe.